into Oregon with the start of our ban phase. G2 Esports starting off with the bans. And Market are very strong on the Ashe. I don't think that G2 will actually ban the Ashe.
Would be
ban Lion. Yeah, there you go.
That makes more sense.
If you're name a more
fun operator.
More of fun operator. Yeah, it's definitely something that EU teams in general will go for, but G2 especially just insta ban on the line. It's kind of something that you can predict, at least.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, yeah, like it's line not going to get played. There goes Glaz though. I don't know if that's really going to be an important one for G2 on this map, but nonetheless, not going to get played now by Eunice. We'll see though. There's the defender bin. All right, so it's going to be a little bit of different Oregon than we saw earlier.
Yeah. So Mira ban, 2 EU teams and a Mira ban. How?
What a surprise!
Never happens.
Yeah.
Now Valkyrie will be banned.
This has also been fairly common. I mean, I would say Echo and Maestro more common, but at the same time, Valkyrie's definitely been creeping up there in terms of bans. So we'll see though. G2 going to be on defense first. I imagine going to go Laundry. There we go. Yeah. Not a huge surprise there. Right. Oh no, they switched it up to dining. Thank you for keeping it interesting.
So I think they just want to get Kitchen out of the way.
It seems like it throws teams off, although maybe not at this point since everyone's doing it.
Fabian will go for the Maestro, but it's just, this thing is, Pengu's already been very strong on the Maestro as well. So it's definitely a different thing here to see Fabian on the Maestro potentially, but there we go. We head into 6-pick, and Castle will be played out. It's really not out of the ordinary. Castle, you kind of need him here when you want to put a Castle barricade right into the hallway. Jonas on the Bandit, it always does happen. The big thing though is that you need the doorway looking into the dining area to be Castle barricaded. And what happens is that a lot of teams will focus on that barricade so much that they forget that it only takes one explosive to take it out. Anything. So you can't really focus too much or think too much about, oh, I have an armor panel, I'm safe. No. And Market will not, they won't really give you any quarter. They'll try to instantly take down that barricade. Now the ban on the Valkyrie, in my opinion, is very big for this one. Because as you saw in the previous matchup, the Valkyrie camera that was set up on the tower gave information very quickly to the defenders on Kitchen to be able to peek out whenever they want.
Here's what's interesting though, is G2 is the one who banned Valkyrie, and they're starting on defense on this site. So they had to have known that. That can't have been part of their plan in terms of their strategy because they're the ones who set this up. But as you said, yeah, that definitely is something that can help a lot, so it is a little surprising. But unless it's probably more so for certain other sites, they don't want to have to deal with it. But that, of course, is once Mocket ends up on defense. See how this attack's going to go here. As Alive playing as usual Ashe, not a surprise there. They actually opened up a ton of this wall here. Looks like opened up by the defenders as we don't see any attackers in a position who have opened that. So that's an interesting way to play it very aggressively, assuming you could stay in that Z hallway. As Alive is trying to kind of cut that rotation off a little bit so they can try and take control of Shower sooner. They've got Buck here as well. If that wall is soft into the attic, he can take advantage of that or even push into the meeting hall, opening up a bunch as well. There we go, and looks like Panix is going to do just that potentially after you go. Ooh, a little tap hole first. That's going to be a warning shot for Kanto.
Yeah, and he's set up in a position where it's you're not going to have a line of sight on him, but still. Now your rotation is pretty much held back to the white stairs, but it's fine. You're looking to rotate from the white stairs anyways, though the big cutoff is that bathroom. That's why you saw Team Liquid playing in there with a shotgun.
Yeah. Very effectively.
Yeah, it did work out very well for them in this in that map. So we got Jonas with the signature Iron Sight MP7, and he's definitely one of the people that has been playing it very consistently recently.
He's also going to be playing with that C4 as well if they go to try and make a push for there. But now that they've burned a lot of the ADSs, they are in a position to try and take out that shield, which looks like it is going to get taken out.
There we go. Finally, he'll get taken down. Jonas taking a bit of damage, but now he cannot bandit trick, and that's what I'm talking about. It's Mocket not wasting any time, immediately going for the #1 priority, which is to take down that side wall, and by just using the Zofia by the farmlands to shoot down the bandit batteries.
Well, now Eunice unfortunately forced all the way back. Pengu, though, getting the initial kill on Devoy means they don't have that big heart breacher. They're going to have to use those X-Kairos to enter instead. Good thing they had two.
Now, Fabian watching the backside here as the drone from Garage will get taken down. Revan will get one, though, onto Eunice. This Pengu trying to find an angle as well with that ACOG. Diffuser's not been set just yet. It's 40 seconds left as Goga is on the Echo. So his Yokai can definitely be used in his MP5 as well. That's alive now, down on the floor. Fabian looking for a potential run out here, but he's mainly protecting the showers and even can rotate in to deal with anybody walking into the white stairs. Habana will peek against Pengu here. He won't get flashed, actually. He'll peek against him, and Revan's on the floor instead of going for the diffuser plant. It's now a 3v2 advantage for G2. Pengu looking in as well as Zofia will go down. That's a 3K now for Pengu as Panics will get one on Kanta Raketti. All up to Panics. It's the MP5 of Goga will go down. It's a 1v1. Pengu needs this for the 4K, and no, not enough time. Pretty much a done and dusted deal there at the end, but kudos to Pengu spending so much time on the site, holding in the back and making sure that nobody takes control of it.
Solid anchor, and you know, contributing to his team as well with those Rook Arbor, but definitely more so with just holding the site. And that is a very important defense to win, because winning Dining definitely gives you an advantage, because the two other bomb sites, in theory, should be easier to hold. They are going to go with the double hard breacher again, this time for Laundry, which, I mean, I appreciate the double hard breacher in terms of flexibility. You saw what happened last time and they lost one. It's definitely something that can happen, but at the same time, like, you are potentially sacrificing some other maybe important operators to do so. We are going to see a 6-pick to Pulse from Eunice here, and then Enemy, same 6-pick as last round. Panic's going to be sticky on that buck as well. Everyone pretty much playing the same roles they played last round. Defense, not the same story, though. We are going to have Pengu this time on Smoke. We know he's a very good Smoke. He's played a lot of that in the past. And this is going to be for an important Smoke site, which is, of course, the basement. They also have Fabian on the Echo, because Echo was not banned. So they're going to have quite a bit to stall out, not to mention Kanto as well on Legion. So this should be a pretty good time-based defense again as well, try and just delay them for as long as possible. We're not going to see the mute trick that we saw coming out from Liquid before, but nonetheless, they will try and deny as long as they can once the hatch is opened, but nothing to actually really stop that from happening. Unless they want to peek the stairs, I suppose. They could have Eunice playing an aggressive pulse downstairs and be able to actually call out when they are in the lobby.
10 seconds
We'll see how they go for it, though. Opening up a bit of the floor there, going across into the electrical to be able to help defend against the B-side push as well.
All right, Kenta Raketti playing upstairs, though, in the dorm main hall. Just have 2 impact grenades to play with, so it can impact his way out of here with the hatch. It was already open for him, so he can jump down. Do they have... There we go, they have a rotation hole.
Wow.
Oh, wow, Goga will be the first one to fall. Guess they were checking up on him here as... Oh no, he falls in the tower. This is a very common spot for Goga, but there you go. G2 with the late rotation into the tower, not working out for them, and Goga will go down.
Unfortunately, Jaeger, one of the operators that has to do a lot of setup. 2 reinforcements, multiple barbed wire deployable shield, his ADSs that need to be usually in multiple places. A tough spot to be in, but he needed to be getting up to that 3rd floor of the tower, and unfortunately just didn't make it time. And then Revan follows that up with a kill into Smoke. This is looking really good for Mocket, getting 2 important kills, because now they have tower control and the Smoke is dead. So Kanto actually going to go on the roam here. Fight this. Risky.
Jonas taking down the drone here as pulled back. Fabian has both of his yokais here to help just in case. They're not really expecting anybody coming in from behind them, or at least from the front lobby. So right now, Kenta Raketti is just focusing all his eyes on the rear stage, and he'll try to contest here. A bit of damage has been done to Panic. There you go, the spray, but unfortunately Fabian is down. The impact will be able to finish them off. No, Kenta Raketti still gets the kill though on Revan through the hatch. Can jump down and help, but he has no info on where his opponents are. Jonas will try to turn it into a 3v2, and it will connect.
Wow.
Kenta Raketti with one more on Enemy. And it's a 2 versus 2. So finally, Panics will go down. Unfortunately, they were not able to pick up the downed Echo upstairs. Pengu, of course, having fallen. Mocket suddenly turned from having the advantage to being down 1 player. It's a 2v1 for G2, and this best case scenario is Jonas is still alive with a pulse. Information is being relayed G2 there. No, what are you doing? No, Jonas peeks up and goes for the 1v1 when he had the advantage with his teammate watching the top side. All he needed to do is use his heartbeat detector to his advantage. Now, unfortunately for G2, they forego that advantage. I'll try to peek in with the ACOG. Cantor though does not falter. And he'll get the last one on to Voy. Bit too close for comfort there for G2, but there you go. Round number 1 will go away, or round number 2 will go the way of G2 as we head to round 3. And now 2 rounds. Pretty close.
I gotta say though, Kanto absolutely the hero of that round. Totally saving it for his team that were down, just not in a good position, down 2 players and 2 important players. It really was just looking like Mocket had everything they needed to do, but the fight around the stage, they just seemed a little sloppy. They couldn't find the angles. They weren't really contesting Meeting Hall very smartly. Once they took the tower control, they just couldn't turn that into a good Meeting Hall attack, and obviously good plays by Kanto as well. Just completely taking advantage of the soft walls to be able to penetrate through, not to mention the hole that I believe Buck had opened. So overall, just a really good series of plays from him. And unfortunately, Eunice, like you said, peeking out a little aggressively did make it a little bit more on Kanto's shoulders at the end there, but he was more than happy to carry it home. I liked the drone play by Thermite, trying to find the angles, get an idea where people were. He did first catch the pulse, which he was able to take advantage of, then caught the Legion, but unfortunately, Legion much more on top of the shots. We're going to see 6 pick the Bandit from Eunice this time for Dorms.
Need to locate and defuse bombs.
We'll see how this goes in terms of the attack. They are bringing a Captain out this time on Revan. So hopefully that will be useful in terms of trying to clear Pengu out from between those 2 windows, which I imagine he will be playing at some point.
Okay, well, Fabian on the Echo, I wonder where they're going to set him up, because of the way that the sites are, with the windows being so open to everybody around it, it kind of limits the Echo in his position.
Yeah,
I just want to keep safe.
He might play top of White Stairs as one of the safer positions to lay prone, because you're not exposed to a lot necessarily, but they do have Capitao that they could potentially shoot across to the top of that if they take control of kids, and then obviously that would leave him in a tough spot. So he's going to set up at least one yokai between the 2 rooms there, and then another one on White Stairs, it looks like, as he brings it further over. And they're going to take advantage of that hole, potentially, no?
To right here.
There we go. If he can get it up there.
There we go.
All right, I like the angle. Multiple places you can see. In fact, he's going to catch Buck right off the board there. And he's going to use this angle in the showers.
They have a completely open wall to peek through. So there you go. They didn't reinforce this. Usually, this entire wall is reinforced from the showers. So interesting the way that G2 have this set up.
Well, they're using it the exact opposite of the way that the attackers usually use.
Yep.
They usually reinforce it to stop that hole from being opened. So I guess, hey, why fight it, right?
Yep.
Bomb located
Panix
by
will
attackers.
learn of that. He'll try to come into the kitchen.
Standard push for a Buck.
Yep, just coming in from the small tower and then immediately get into the kitchen, clear it out just in case there's somebody there. There's a bandit battery that is placed on there, but I don't know if G2 are actually committing players to this position.
Yeah, it's a case where I think they're just trying to play a little more flexible here. They don't really care as much about losing kitchen. Meeting Hall's a little more important. Plus, Fabian doing a good job with his yokais actually manages to pull it off before it can get shot, force them to have to come around the corner to contest it where they could be exposed. Enemy, though, with the first kill onto Kanto. Unfortunately, not going to be clutching this round out, Kanto.
He is down. I wonder if it was from an aggressive push. Yep, it was a run out. Honestly, I have to really start questioning these from Kanto Raketti. Of course, he is on the Legion, so
yeah,
I kind of want to keep him alive for as long as possible. But let's see the barbed wire being taken out here by the Zofia as the first one is popped in by the White Stairs. Fabian has to be careful about his position as well as at the top of the White Stairs. Panic searching desperately for the yokais. You can see the ACOG on the Capitao trying to find the head of Fabian, who contests it, and Revan just gets a free kill.
Fabian, come on.
Goga still in the back though by the small dorms. He's just holding up against the White Stairs. Now, flashbangs and equipment will be thrown Goga's way. He sets up an extra bit of ADS. There we go, making sure not to get burned by the wall next to him. Bandit alive, finding the angle onto him, and all up to Jonas here. He gets taken down. Pengu gets one, but he's low on health, and a flurry of kills there, including alive at the end. Mocket will get around here 2-1. Still up for G2, but this whole round was just a disaster from start to finish.
Super easy summary why G2 lost that. Peeking, peeking, peeking constantly. You saw Kanto jump out and get, peek right into the shots. You saw the peek come out from Fabian unnecessarily. You saw the peek there from the bunks as well. He didn't need to be peeking that. Just so many peeks, and they just didn't seem on top of the peeks. They were peeking and not pre-firing. They were just peeking and hoping to see them and then shoot. If you're going to peek and not pre-fire, you really need to have better intel or have some idea where they're at. It's not smart plays there. They will be going back to dorms again. Second try. It looked like they were going to go dining for a second there, but decided against it. See if they stick the pick or if they're just going to stick with this Maestro here from Fabian this time. Attackers not going with double hard breachers this time. They're not going to stick the pick that Sophia as well.
Defenders,
So it looks like no one really wanted to play any trickery this round. They're just going to play it straight up and hope they can win. Dorms yet again here. Now, of course, they can't go back to laundry, and they decided against dining or tower. So dorms is obviously the next choice. You see, both teams have 2 top players with 4 kills each. So they are a little bit about neck and neck, but because the G2 guys were able to win off time first round, it was definitely, makes the kills a little more even despite the score being more in G2's favor. I mean, to be honest, we're anticipating this will very likely go over to G2 at some point here, but this is a map, as you mentioned, that Mawked are fairly decent at as well. So there's a chance we could see this go a bit back and forth. So far, it is only a 1-point advantage to G2, although they have had some pretty good rounds so far, although both of them were kind of clutched out, once by Pengu, once by Kanto, and almost an attempt by Pengu again. Can't really depend too much on clutches to get out of it, but that is something that G2 do pull off quite often.
Yeah, it's something, we mentioned it literally the last game. It's not really something you can rely on, and then...
But they'll do it most of the time.
That's G2. G2, they have so much individual skill between their players that, you know what,
Yeah.
it kind of is so reliable. It's consistent, and that's what you're always looking for. See, Panic's trying to find the angle on... Oh, no!
Backfires.
The Bandit using Kanto Raketti here to bait out his opponents. Will get the kill on the buck. It's a pretty big pick here as you lose those grenades. Alive, of course, on the Ash. The comfort pick he'll always be playing. And Kanto almost getting caught with his mines out.
This is a heck of a dining room defense when that's not even the bomb site. They're really holding that aggressively. I don't think Mawked were prepared for that.
It's a decent chunk of time being lost here, but G2 just fall back to the kitchen. They realize, okay, that's the first level of defense. We're going to lose it anyways. Let's just make sure we can still fall back. Now, what Mawked can do is go up and contest from the bedroom. You know?
Why not?
They can contest just from the windows. They can maybe get Pengu. They realize that the site is pretty much open because Fabian is in the back and Pengu as well, and that is it.
Yeah, it's definitely down to these bottom floor defenders, but the fact that they're not really doing much to contest them right now means they're not really accomplishing a whole lot for Mawked here. At least they're going to start to try and push Pengu. They do have Captao to help with that as well, but...
The lifeline bounce off of nothing.
It's unfortunate. Sometimes he just wants to... Oh, almost shoots Alive in the head there. Gotta be careful.
It's all calculated, but Alive peering through, looking in. There's a bit of damage from Revon again. He'll get the headshot on one, and he gets the second, peeking here with the advantage is G2. And they lose that advantage here. C4 being thrown out by UNS. Unfortunately, that's Void to get the kill on Kanto Raketti. UNS and Goga will have to go back up. Unfortunately for them, crossbow bolt's already done its work. It's going to limit the rotations and the line of sight that's available for G2 to go for the retake. No second bolt being thrown out just yet, but it doesn't matter.
Heaven.
All you got to do is hold the rotation, and that is it. There's no C4 to be thrown. Goga's holding the one angle. Unfortunately, that angle you hold early on in the round, and maybe when you're expecting a push from your opponents, but they don't even need to go through that window. And G2, yet again, because of over-peaking, they end up losing the round. Mawked tying it 2-2.
Really also, just letting Revan sit outside that big window and not thinking about the big window. You saw Pengu get killed, and then Fabian rotates on it anyways, right after Pengu dies. It just, maybe there's just lack of communication here, overconfidence. They're just not paying attention to the flank angles, and this is really going to be a problem for them. They need to think a bit better about how they're using the map once they get some of those initial picks like that. They're just getting a little greedy, and it's not working out for them. But this is their last defense here on Laundry. It is 2-2 now, tied up. We'll see if they can manage to close out in an advantage for G2, or if they're actually going to let Mawked come into the switch with the 1 point up. I mean, it isn't unlike some of these teams like G2 to just lose in the beginning a little bit and then just bring it back. They
I mean, they
tend to
just
do that.
they just had a tie, so it's really not the end. Of the
No,
world,
but I
of
just
course.
they're still continuing down this trend that is a negative trend so far.
Indeed.
I mean, they won some of those rounds, but it was again off of clutches, not off of a super strong team play.
Defenders,
So we're
protect
just
your
not
bombs
seeing that
from
from
being
Penta
defused
or
by
G2
attackers.
right now.
Indubitably. It's a new word we're inventing here today, but we'll see how G2 play this one here. Down in Laundry as Goga setting up his ADSs. Kanto yet again on the Legion. There's really nothing different for G2. They run this setup. They've been running it for the past 4 rounds, and this is the last round that they get on defense. So, you know, looking at Oregon and how attacker favored it has been in the past couple months, you know, Mocket getting 2 rounds on the attack
10
is
seconds left
kind of a
before
minimum. You need 3 minimum, really, when you're on here to be somewhat
seconds to
comfortable
go.
with your position, especially knowing that Mocket are extremely powerful on their attack
Attackers
with
have recovered
Alive,
the
Panics, and Enemy that are
Attackers'
3
objective is to
players
locate
that
a
are
bomb
very
and
well known
defuse it.
for their plays on the attacking side. However, once you get to the defense, I fear that they might not have the same momentum as
Attackers have dropped the bomb
G2
diffuser.
are having right now. If G2 can get the 3rd round, it'll definitely start swinging their way.
Yeah, we'll see if they can pull that off or not. They have all the utility they need for that. It's just a question of, yeah, can they stop over-peaking? They stop playing over-aggressive? Kanto definitely not taking that into heart. At least he's going to back off, though. That is the take it and get out of there at that point. They know you're going to be playing there. They're going to counter it. There's a little bit of late reinforcement. I like to just steal it up.
Goga does this quite a bit. G2 in general really are fans of that late reinforcement. They're like,
That was
okay,
risky, though.
we do the damage, we try to contest. If it doesn't work, we'll just fall back and make sure we reinforce behind us because we want to keep advantage on the meeting hall. Now, there are 2 hard destructors, of course, on Mocket, so it's no biggie for Mocket to use one of their Exkyros just on there because it happens so many times. You know, Millennium likes to play this a lot as well, where they would just have someone holding the rotations. Even Mocket played this back when they were actually running a lot more Dokkaebi.
Attackers
Yeah.
recovered the bomb.
Definitely something I'm surprised we haven't seen from either of these teams just yet. Or, like, I mean, I guess we only would have seen it from Mocket, but still. They are going to go for opening the hatch via the school wall, give themselves the angle, of course, because that is the most, or the smartest way utility-wise to open that. Eunice, though, with the first kill on the Void, a little bit of a comeback then here coming from G2. That is a kill onto one of the Heart Breachers. Again, they brought 2, which was the smart choice here.
But we really only need the Habana. Now, there's 2 Breach Palace that are available, and really the only position that you have to open up with your Exkyros is that drop hatch, basically, into Laundry. Otherwise, the rest is kind of just utility, and you need to hold angles. Just, hey, if all our opponents can just push in from the main doorway in the meeting hall, I think we don't even need to open up a hole to contest anybody. We can just push in onto site and make sure that they only have tower to rotate from. So we know that they'll be coming in from the hallway or from the back of Laundry.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to counter that. Unfortunately, Fabian, trying to be smart about his drone, lost it pushing against an attacker drone. Not sure who shot that attacker or defender, but
Bomb located
did
by
not work
attackers.
out in terms of that. He has potentially one more Yokai drone left to help with this, but he's going to peek instead and actually gets a kill under Revit, but takes a lot of damage in the process.
And Goga opening up the meeting hall just to make sure that his opponents are always on their toes against him. Now, information has been relayed on the position of Panic,
Wow.
as Jonas will get the kill. It's a 2v4 and now a 4v1. Pengu will get one more. There's still one more in school as he gets the down, and that's Goga to knife enemy down to the floor. And there you go. Diffuser will get taken out. This player has not been picked up in the lobby, but it doesn't matter. G2 with 3 rounds up versus the 2 for Mocket is definitely a pretty big advantage for G2 on the defense.
They're definitely going to have that big advantage. I feel like on attack, they might have a little bit better attack here, and I think this is where we're going to see it probably start to swing a bit more G2 side. I mean, yeah, that last round gave them a 1-round advantage, but we'll see. Mocket are going to risk tower first if they stick on that. That should be interesting to see if they can pull that off. That's the riskier one. Dining actually seems to be working out better for teams today than tower has been. So that is a big, big risk. Like I said, they are going to stick it. We'll see if they get any operator switch. But like I said, I was surprised to see Dokkaebi earlier, but of course that was when it was just Mocket playing. Now that we see G2, they're going to play that. And they are going to bring the Ying as well. A lot of good utility here on the attack side. Defender's going to bring that Echo because, well, it's not banned, might as well. Wilson, Eunice actually going to switch up last second to Twitch. Interesting choice. I mean, that might help against the Echo drone, I suppose, or clear some ADSs.
I mean, plus you get the F2, right? It's
Oh, yeah, obviously.
FAMAS is definitely no slouch. And usually you used to see Fabian playing that role of the Twitch.
Attackers need to
There's,
locate and defuse
quite a
the
bit of
bomb.
footage of that. And Market will start off on the tower. So I'm curious, here to say the least. Wonder how they're going to set this up. Maybe focusing more on the bedrooms. Maybe just holding quite a bit on the tower T3, because we've seen this especially with Panics. The way that things are set up, he can hold it from the top. He just needs to have the intuition to know when to rotate from one side to the other. Now the thing is, because Valkyrie is banned, and that was G2's ban, it makes things a lot more complicated for Market
Yeah.
to figure things out.
They would definitely be playing it on this defense,
5
especially
seconds to
if they had it as an option. So because they don't, they're going to have to play things differently. We have seen some sneaky plays with Echo drones where they pop them into the window sills before.
Yeah, that was Renshiro that played it for Millennium. It does help, but
Not quite the same.
yeah, it's not quite the same, of course.
It didn't actually really end up leading to too much either when we saw it, but I like the idea that tricking, some ideas you can do. Obviously, you can't put it outside because it loses connection after 3 seconds. And Kanto, speaking of losing connection, pretty much disconnects Panics from life there. Unfortunate.
Arrest.
Nice early piss. Yeah. He is definitely not going to be happy about that. Because,
Was that the only T3 player?
probably, that usually is, and you're not going to see a lot of late rotates up to the T3, so not a great start.
Yeah, that's it. It's completely been let go. Now, Goga has the diffuser in hand. Now, that might not work out too well if he doesn't get taken down. He jumps in, and there you go. He gives them the diffuser. Goga, what are you doing?
Why would you do that?
Now
He
the
didn't even
smoke-
take out the ADS before he died.
Oh, no, at least Dokkaebi here takes control, but the diffuser, I think, is still on the top floor. They're going to try to pick it up. No, it's literally
On the
the beam. Oh
He's got
my
it
God.
now.
Okay, there you go. Fabian will go in for the plant as instantly G2 were able to push in, mock it with Revan coming into the site. He'll try to deny this here, but he's spotted. There's little positions that you can come in from, and Jonas gets one. Enemy will go for the reload, and as he does that, it's Jonas that comes in for the finisher with the Twitch. It's a bit of a fast execution. The instant they got the pick on the Jaeger, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, T3 is free. Let's just go.
And that's why was a very swift lesson to mock it in why they shouldn't play tower. It was like, if we get your guy at the top of tower, you lose tower. Now, obviously, they didn't need to get over aggressive with it and jump down with a wood beam and lose the diffuser. That was a bit of a misplay, but nonetheless, they took that very, very quickly, and that was a very confident play. Like I said, this is where we're going to see them break ahead, and they're already now up one more point, getting dangerously close to taking the map here. Now, Mach going to go for a much smarter, safer bomb fight here in Laundry. Like I said earlier, some teams like to just get those side ones out of the way, but Dining is, like I said, been proven to be a bit more effective than Tower has been. We're going to see some 6 picks getting used here. Both of them to the Polish operators.
Yeah, Ella to Panics, not surprising at all. And Jonas to Zofia. That's, again, a pretty good pick. We've seen a lot of Zofia play for Jonas. He's, at least for a lot of people, considered the NVK of Europe. So there you go.
There's
a lot of Zofia plays. Market will be playing downstairs. So Panics will be setting up with the Ella. I wonder if he's going to be playing more of a roam heavy thing or just holding specific angles, because with the L-shaped hallway, you've got you also have a few stairs, etc. All of those can be extremely beneficial for an Ella that is very well known for being extremely effective in CQC.
Yeah, it definitely comes down to how the individual plays it as well, because it's an operator that you can play pretty flexibly, but if you know how to play aggressive and at just the right timing, it's a very, very effective operator, but you have to be smart about it. And those mines definitely help on that, because they can help you figure out that timing in terms of knowing when to push them. But it's still, of course, just the beginning of the actual round, as this could go over to map point here.
Is this a rush? They're going to rush on down. They're not even going to take that reinforced hatch down at all. They just rush in. They realize the entire site is empty because Market are playing this Latin America style. Everybody off the site. And that's the first one getting taken down. It's Boy. Now the second one as well. Pengu down onto Alive. 3v2 with the diffuser already planted. Panic's low on health. He gets one kill on Jonas, but Goga will refrag instantly, making sure that Mock have to work for every single one of these moments. Revan is down on the floor up top in the meeting hall, and it's all up to enemy. And as the MP5 SD will make him heard. Moves in through the hallway. The Ashkin coming in from the back, and it's already Goga. That'll finish him off. Of course, Fabian having down Revan upstairs in the meeting hall. More than enough. G2, the beautiful bit of play here, realizing that their opponents are completely open and free.
Well, as I've said before, when they get a little sick of playing a particular round, they like to close it out very quickly, and they're certainly doing that already on map point here. This is looking like it could be over for Mocket. Chances are Mocket will probably get one more round at least, but this is definitely looking like G2's map. It was Mocket's map pick, though, and that's what makes me a little bit worried about that. Obviously, they're going to have to...
yeah, this is Mocket now in the tactical timeout, so
okay.
You do have the confirmation. It makes a lot of sense. Obviously, they get a tactical timeout, one per
Yeah,
map.
use it when you're on your potentially last round.
Yes.
Good time to use it.
So we'll see how this works out. And we told you guys, the attacking side on Oregon has a pretty darn big advantage. So much like Coastline, you're looking at a minimum of 3 rounds. And unfortunately, Mocket only were getting 2 on the attack. Doesn't work out too well for them.
Well, we'll see if they can finally pick up one defensive round. They're going to try Laundry one more time. And I say one more time because if they lose that, then they get no more chances. But at least they're not going to try anything radical like Tower or Dining. But they're going to have to make some adjustments. Obviously, one adjustment, maybe keep a few more people on site and don't get rushed.
I mean, this happens like... this happens once every week in professional play, really.
If you see it, use it.
Yeah, you drone in, you're like, well, it's
all right.
Open. There's only one guy downstairs, so it's just all rush. And that's exactly what happened. They didn't even have to care about the echo or whatever setup.
And it's a case, too, where when Mirror's Bandit makes it a little bit easier. Just because you don't have to worry about there being a window there for them to see you. They pretty much have to be peeking that hole to try and do anything about your rush down the stairs, in which case they're not as prepared. We'll see, though, if they're as prepared this time. I would imagine they would consider at least putting some Legion mines on those stairs coming down so that there's a chance they will at least get slowed down.
I mean, there was one goo mine.
Yeah, but I mean, you could put 2 during the prep phase. Not that 2's going to make that much of a difference.
Usually what happens with the goo mines is that you put your goo mines early on in the prep phase further away from the site where your roamers or whoever are playing, and then as you're playing more and more on the site, you kind of like leave a trail of breadcrumbs, in this case poisonous mines, behind you. That's
in the case if depending on how you're playing, is where Kanto will play a little bit more off site, but in this case Revan probably going to play a little bit closer to site, I would think.
No, he's actually
going to be upstairs, you know. It's all right.
It's more of a roamer. Legion here, of course, will take down one of the drones being shot in the back. Jonas will get tagged by one of the Gushmot mines brought in by Panics. So he still has one in his back pocket.
Fortunately for him, could not find an angle, so he's just going to back off, which is probably the smart play, but nonetheless, that will slow them down a little bit. They're going to have to push that a little bit differently, but Alive taking down Kanto early. A nice aggressive pick here, hanging out on that stage as Jaeger. He's going to get countered here by Pangu soon, potentially, unless he drops first.
I can instantly drop out of this one here. They're relying on drones. You know he's here, but unfortunately he's crouched. And Alive being tagged, he just falls down. So that's why, that's the only reason really you'll see enemy scans. And unfortunately, Pangu not going to find the angle. He is running a dot sight on, oh, no, they can't take down the yokai. But he's not running an ACOG on his Para 308. So it doesn't really have the easiest of times having the long push potential.
Well, they do have tower control. They also have control of the armory. So they're taking control of this top floor. They've pushed everyone off pretty much back to site. But at the same time, they left meeting and the lobby pretty much open for the defenders to control here. This is not the best way to do it, but they're going to go for a B-side push for the most part here. See Goga rotating around coming from the construction side as well with the diffuser.
Yeah, there's not a ton of time here for G2 to come in from standard stairs / hatch push. Though they have pushed everybody, as you mentioned, away from meeting hall. Goga will have to come in, but there's 44 seconds left on the clock. Trying to burn in here as much utility as possible. Fabian will come in to the hallway. The flash does help him to close against their opponents. He pushes in, run from the back. Goga will get one in the meantime. Unfortunately, Panics will win out up close with the CZ3A1. Now it's Goga to come in for the diffuser plant, and it will be successful as Panics gets a second one. Revan will get one more to turn it into a 3v1. All up to Jonas now, and unfortunately there are no grenades available for the IQ anymore. The diffuser is being shot down, as in the meantime, Revan gets the final one on Jonas, and there we go.
Just helping out his teammate. Make sure to guard that diffuser.
There you go. That's the round for Mocket. They need it. It's a big morale boost for the team. As you can see, they're not as active as their opponents of G2. They're kind of like wondering what was happening there. But that early pick was huge. Taking down Kanto in the tower.
Yeah, nicely done by Alive, playing that aggressively. That was definitely a game changer for them. But nonetheless, it was still a close round. And are you guys seriously going to go tower now? You do not want... They have yet to play dorms. So the fact that they're going to potentially go tower second time seems like a huge mistake. Now, last time, there was the early pick that you mentioned on the Jaeger and that up on T3, and that made a huge difference. But still, this seems like such a risky move without having the addition of those black eye cameras outside. They do have at least a pulse to get some intel, assuming they still have that, but
go for kitchen in this case.
It seems, yeah, this seems really, really risky. They are going to still bring the echo, but
didn't even play bedroom. Play bedroom.
That's what I'm saying.
Why are you playing tower?
I don't know. They're just, it's risky. It's risky. This is their map pick too. This is not like, oh, our map's next. We're fine. No, you go into Villa next.
Yeah, it's a map that is untested for Mocket. G2 have had success on it. They did play against ENCE actually in OGA Pit, and they were able to beat them on Villa. It was they kind of were showing stuff here and there, so yeah, G2 kind of know their stuff around.
Oh, absolutely. They're a team that's not going to slouch on that. With the coach like Chaz, I'm sure they've spent a lot of time analyzing Villa and watching every match available that anyone has played on Villa to get an idea or ideas on different ways to play it. I've heard a lot of rumors about how Villa has been evolving over this last 2 weeks. It's really been shaping up to be an interesting map. So I expect good stuff there, as we are guaranteed to see it since it's not the decider, which will be fun. The way things are going, though, we may not see the decider. We'll see. It is only 5-3. They only have to come back 2 rounds in a row to take it to overtime, but it's definitely going to be a struggle. They are going to at least feel out where the defense is set up here. They know there are defenders downstairs. Unfortunately, they didn't shoot out the drone, so that is Void getting chased off. Fabian taking full advantage of that, so that's why you saw the pings coming out. Now he's going to be able to hack the phone. Now, of course, that's not going to give them huge advantage as they're not playing with a Maestro or a Valkyrie, but nonetheless, it's still nice to have that extra bit of intel to try and catch any roamers who are probably not going to go shoot the cameras.
Window's gonna get taken down here. At least Kanto expecting a potential peek. He knows that usually the Jaeger is playing all the way up top. Now, the best thing for G2 here is that they don't have to fear anybody from below. So Laundry's pretty much open for them. The rear stage, rear tower, definitely be a position where you'll see Fabian moving up with. I'm not sure if he still has. Yeah, there you go. He still has one more call to use plus the smoke grenade. So instead of going through the tower, he's gonna use that call to push into the meeting hall.
We'll see if they can keep control of it, as that is an important part of this push. There was some reinforcements that would help with that in the stage. Exactly where the...
Oh! Fabian lands the headshot on Alive! As everybody here gasping really at the same time. That is an oof of a shot. And now all that's left is... There we go, he's finally going to get taken down. Enemy, fortunately, stays alive against all the utility that's being thrown in his way. Kanto Raketti realizing now that it's going to get contested by the Jaegers. Enemy comes in from the side as well. Too many angles for them to watch. They can just plant here on the side. If Jonas gets one, so another one for Pengu. It's a 1v3, but Panics is still upstairs. Just plant below.
They've got to be reading into that at this point.
There you go. It's going to be set. Panics will have to rotate in as they're not ready for him. He'll get the kill onto Goga. And that's going to be detected. All up to Jonas, the Finnish player against the Swiss Panics. We'll have to clutch this one out here as he sprays right into him, but Jonas will hit the shot to take out Panics. And here we go, match point. Already won by G2, who put the first map on the board.
Well, definitely a case where it got pretty close there, because this time they did not take out the T3 player, and because of that, they were able to take advantage of that to get pretty far into the round. But nonetheless, Eunice, a reliable clutch there. Again, a lot of clutches being key to G2 winning, but as Fabian would say, a win is a win.
That's all that matters. That is map number 1. going the way of G2. Was kind of expected, but this is a map that we're expecting Market to be performing much better on. I think their side on the attack was already weak,
Yeah.
I want to say, with only 2 rounds, but they only took 1 round on the defense. And the problem, they played twice in tower, and both of them did not work out. But we'll check out some of the highlights here. Pengu in the very first round give us a pretty sweet clutch. Technically a 4K, right? I mean, he didn't kill the buck at the end, but still, there you go. It's just a couple rounds, and
So close.
yeah, not enough to get the last bullet.
So this was a great clutch by Kanto. Just great, smart play in terms of there was a lot of open holes in other ways he could have been shot or flanked, but just smart play, good timing. Unfortunately, this is where we're seeing Fabian just over peaking. This whole round was just too many peaks. And Revan, though, with really great plays from that double window, a lot of the time is Capitao.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Not a lot of people will run a para with an ACOG. It's, you know, it's not C8 levels, but it's not super easy to deal with. And, you know, Goga trying to push in. This is one of my favorite rounds, really. Just G2 realizing, okay, the site is pretty much all completely open. Let's just come in and plant. And it did work out. That was the one that put them. Oh my God, that is such a dirty shot, Fabian.
Nice taps.
There's some pretty exciting clutches from both teams in that position, but I have to say, Penta, we always say you can't rely on one player to clutch.
Yeah. Well, in this case, they were fairly reliable most of the time. Eunice was put in that position quite a few times. Kanto as well. Pengu sometimes. So those 3 especially were fairly reliable most of the time. Didn't always work there. I think there was at least one time where Eunice was close but couldn't quite pull it off. But nonetheless, as we said, all the players with the individual skill, maybe they weren't playing together as a team as much as we would have liked to see, but nonetheless, the individual player skill was definitely there, and some of those early picks especially would completely make the round go in favor of G2 because once they had man advantage, they knew how to capitalize on it very well. It's just a lot of rounds where they didn't towards the end, and they just were able to clutch it out anyways.
But that was map 1. That was Oregon. Map 2 was Villa. So for everybody excited, we get to finally see it in Paris Major and literally in the second matchup of the group stage. So who would have thunk it? But we've seen a bit of Villa played, I think 5 or 6 times in Pro League so far. We've also seen it in, I'm not sure if we saw it in US Nationals, but at least we saw it in OG.
It's surprising here to see it before Clubhouse, though.
Yeah.
Of all the things, because it's a best of 3, not a best of 1, where we're just going to see, you know, 1 map each. But
we'll head to sunny Tuscany as we go into Villa. Mocket starting off with a ban phase here as they have chosen to, well, at least G2 have chosen to start on the attack. Mocket, of course, had the first pick on Oregon, and they chose to start on the attacking side there. But there you go, G2 will ban out the Lion. It's just the most expected ban in the history of bans. It's always G2 removing Lion.
We'll see what we're going to see. Will they go for that Ash ban on Alive? It'd be pretty funny at this point, just to kind of disable them a little bit. They're definitely taking their time to decide, though, what they want to go for on Villa. There it is. Sorry, Alive.
Yeah, there you go.
We're not going to have your op.
Makes sense.
Well, you know, might as well disable one of the better players on the team. I mean, I say the better players is if there's not a lot of good players. There's definitely a lot of good players on the team.
Definitely the standout player that we mentioned. Like, we mentioned Panics quite a bit as well because, well, he is there. He shows up pretty well. But the Ash has been such a big thing for Mocket that now... this is having the conversation with Panics in one of the interviews in Pro League, and he's like, I'm actually happy when they ban the Ash because finally we get to see Alive playing some other operator.
Yeah. Well, there's the Maestro ban coming out this time instead of Valkyrie.
Yeah, Maestro Hero, so Echo's going to be played.
Yeah, definitely should be a big part of the defense here. They're going to start Aviator games, it seems like. And I feel like the meta hasn't completely settled on the bomb sites yet, but upstairs seems to be more prevalent than downstairs.
Aviator Trophy is definitely, well, those 2 sites are definitely very strong.
Trophy can be a little difficult at times, but I mean, the way you play impacts on this one especially tends to work pretty well.
Which is why, for me, I don't really see why you would ban the Mira. I mean, sure, there's a couple strong positions where she can be used, but she's not as essential as she can be on other maps. But, you know, it's a European thing, I guess. Mira will always be banned. It's kind of living up to the hype.
Yeah, they don't like it.
Alright, so not surprising that Valkyrie will be picked as Jonas will be back on his class. Definitely someone that has been able to do quite a bit of damage to opponents in the not too far past. Get to see how he sets that up, but they're starting off, of course, on Aviator and Game Room. And it's Mocket on the defense. I wonder one thing though, if Alive on the smoke is bringing impact nades.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, obviously Revan will very likely be bringing impact nades.
No. Okay. So this is what makes sense. So earlier on in the Pro League season, when people played Villa and scouted around in Villa, they would always push in from the main stairs, they would push in from the study and from the balcony, and maybe hold off on the hallway. Well, now we're only going to be setting 1 or 2 players here. 3 to 4 are actually pushing from the opposite end, going in from the bedroom, and from the bedroom they'll be able to come in from the back or hallway, have another way of entrance into the site. Astronomy and also Trophy plus the bedroom, very strong. The bedroom, I harp on about it as much as I do when it comes to talking about Mira or Legion, but the bedroom is a super strong position within this map. It allows you to control almost every single one of these sites. It's always great to be able to have some control of it. Now, what Millennium did, for example, compared to Mocket, is they actually put players on this side to contest their opponents.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's risky to put people on the entry side sometimes because you know they're going to drone it well, and there's a chance that you could just be getting yourself into a fight really early and unnecessarily as opposed to buying time. But it depends on whether or not you're able to fall back, especially if you get a kill and fall back instead of playing it over aggressive. But they are going to take control of quite a bit at the top floor here. And that's going to force Panics back, as well as Enemy. The phone call's doing a good job here. Nice one, Kanto.
There we go. It's another one. Kanto Ricchetti moving up here, of course, with the Mark 14, making sure nobody peeks from the hallway. It's, of course, a very strong position. We see a lot of Jaegers actually playing from that position. Fabian will set up a drone downstairs to watch for the flanks, and he spots the Ella instantly. So now Enemy will have to fall back. You can't really do too much against this. The instant he was spotted, and the Jaeger will get spotted, and there you go. The Ella as well. That's exactly what they were looking for. Ella will have to stay back. Kanto Ricchetti takes a bit of damage from a go mine. And the Underworld is, there we go. Try to fight against the Vault. That's already one set of Excairos opening things up. We'll see Pengu on the other side. Be having a that is
interesting angle.
Yeah, that's an interesting angle as well.
Ooh, unfortunate throw. You got that's the one thing that you got to keep in mind about the velocity stuff is sideways velocity matters as well. When you're moving sideways as you throw something, you can accidentally make a lot of misthrows like that. And as a Legion player, you really need to make sure you know how to throw accurately.
So Jonas now will have a bit of an angle, but Voy will get one refragged instantly from Kanto Ricchetti. Pengu going down is not the end of the world. I don't think he used his grenades at all, but the smoke being lost for Mocket, especially when the push from G2 will be so forced in from specific angles. You know, Aviator definitely lends itself a lot more to a smoke pick. Though, speaking of smokes, the smoke grenades will be thrown right into the face of the defenders. Revan, though, will get the kill on Jonas. Enemy with another one. It's a 2v4 now with Fabian and Goga left alive. Have to go through some pretty high rate of fire SMGs for their opponents. Revan with one. The diffuser's now on the floor. Fabian will have to contest. He gets one. He watches the stairs, and unfortunately, the Ella will fall back right before he's able to get the kill. Now just playing the mind games. Enemy getting the last one to clean them up, and round number 1 will go the way to defense. It's Mocket that take it.
That definitely got a bit sloppy towards the end. Once they took control of the Vault, they didn't seem to be able to push that very effectively from there. It just, the fight went so in favor of the defenders when they shouldn't have. It just seemed like they were getting over-aggressive on the actual push, trying to push in when they didn't need to, or take fights they didn't need to. For example, the Glass pushing in, even Fabian over-aggressively pushing down those stairs. That was a little bit sloppy compared to what I would expect from G2 there. But nonetheless, it's just one round. We are going to go downstairs next to Dining Kitchen. So that should be interesting to see how this plays out. Is they're going to skip Trophy here. Might be their third bomb site instead. We'll see if there's going to be any 6 picks. Not looking like it so far. They're just going to show the Glass this time. They're going with double hard breachers. Kanto the one to switch. And,
yeah, so the IQ being played there at the end. Kanto Ricchetti on the IQ is not something you always would see.
Usually it was more Goga in the past. But they're going with the double hard breachers, so Goga's going to be on his usual thermite.
So we'll get to see how this works out here. Is really the first round was a bit of a disaster for G2. Possibly Mocket here continuing their great play is after that first round. Now Voy playing the Pulse. One thing for G2 is that they're bringing Jackal, which is great. And the Jackal with the ITA can definitely help them out. Now, to make that happen, they need to have some control of the bedroom, because obviously vertical play matters quite a bit on Villa, similar to maps like Bank, for example.
We just haven't seen a lot of it demonstrated yet. I think as teams slowly figure out the advantageous uses of it in certain positions, we'll see it more. But yeah, it feels like a little bit underwhelming for a map that could really take advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely so. Now Buck sometimes is a pick as well here on the bedroom, and Fabian will come in from below. So is he actually going to open up the blind? No. Okay. So he's just going to move in from the side. All right.
He definitely could open up those barrels with his shotgun though and be able to push his way through, but decides against it. Well, we will see them opening up quite a few windows though to be able to make this push start to happen. Again, going with that glass from Eunice. They're going to have to try and find some angles to fight. Panic's actually doing a good job stopping some drones, but fortunately you can only do so much on that. Kanto is going to start pushing them aggressively. Footprints getting spotted out here. And this is going to start to put pressure on these roamers to start to fall back so they can take this top floor control.
Fortunately for Fabian, they are falling back right at the last second. So Astronomy will be taken. Same for Trophy. There's always a drone moving forward. So this combined with the Jackal gives a lot of advantage here for the attackers. Unfortunately, Jonas will go down. He's down but not out, and they're trying to use him as bait. So Nitrocell will get thrown out. No, it actually it doesn't even kill Jonas.
What?
That's actually pretty great.
You see that big steel beam in the middle there? That might have been enough to block the explosion. Unfortunate.
So this is how it was happening. We're always talking about this, where the Pulse, if he's using his heartbeat detector, he can get spotted from above. Unfortunately, the IQ really unable to find the shot. It's always a problem when you have so many steel beams.
Yeah. Important part is they were able to get Eunice back up now, and so it's still 5v5, just lower health for G2.
Just opening up the window on the side just in case he needs to exit alive, pushing up pretty aggressively into Laundry, a big part of the attack as well to go for that position. Alive though, getting the kill on the Jonas. It's a 4v5, but he'll get taken down by Goga. Immediately refrag. Now Jonas not really having the best of times on that glass as Goga peeking in. You'll see the Ella having done the damage, and enemy finishes off Kanto Raketti. Goga with one more, but panics, refragging onto Fabian. Goga with little to no health now has to work things with Pengu. Both hard destructors are still alive as Pengu will flash himself and run into a goo mine. Now Panic's enemy and Revan, they're alive. Enemy getting the kill, Goga from above, and this is why bedroom is so important for both defense and attack and Panics with the Revan with the last one. G2 falling as Mocket will put the second round up on the board.
So far looking like this choice by G2 maybe not the best choice, at least in terms of G2's attacks. Maybe their defense will show something really special on the win, all 5 of their defensive rounds, but so far their attacks have been falling apart fairly quickly. And it's not even due to a lot of really elaborate defenses here by Mocket. It's just a few roamers playing really well, and the inability for G2 to find very many kills on their entries. They're just kind of pushing and getting a lot of map control, but not able to actually get into the site or make an actual push or execute happen. We'll see how things go on Trophy, though, as, of course, winning defensive rounds means they have to keep switching to different bomb sites. So, as I said before, Trophy probably going to be the third one, and it is. This one might be a little bit easier for them. They're obviously able to push that bedroom, as you mentioned earlier, and take control of that. We're going to 6-pick to that Pulse. Try and keep it a little bit of surprise again. Probably going to be playing downstairs, I would imagine, but Pengu sneaking into Montaigne probably to help with the push, maybe from that bathroom or from the bedroom into there to help try and take either Statue or Trophy.
We'll see if Jonas can actually get something done with the glass here. Unfortunately, Mocket have been pretty efficient at shutting it down every single round, but really, Villa is a fairly defensive favorite map. So getting 2, 3, even 4 rounds on the defense is not really something out of the ordinary. It's just G2. We actually had a very close way of going through things in map 1 in Oregon, where G2 were up 2 rounds, and then Mocket were able to tie it up to 2, so still.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I was talking before about how, the first couple rounds a lot of times will be lost by top teams like this, so it's not a surprise that G2 are down the first 2 rounds, but this is their map pick. I would have expected more of a strong start, but because they don't get to pick sides as well, maybe, like I said, a lot of their ideas were for defense. but still, their attacks seem a little
Attackers have
sloppy.
recovered their diffuser.
All right, so guys, we'll
Attackers'
update you
objective is to
in the
locate a bomb
meantime.
and defuse it.
Fnatic versus NIP. First map, Clubhouse, just ended in a 6-3 victory
Wow.
for Fnatic. So that is a 1-0 up for Fnatic.
Well, that's looking good for APAC. We had Norenga win their match. Now Fnatic are looking strong on theirs. Maybe APAC are going to have a good showing here, because I've heard good things about Element Mystic as well.
Well, we'll see. Reddit is already pretty excited for it, so see how excited everything really gets as the victories keep running in. Of course, that match is live with Intero and Wilkie on twitch.tv/Rainbow6Bravo, so make sure you go on there if you want to watch Fnatic versus NIP. But for here, G2 v Market are two European teams facing one another.
Yeah, Pengu did manage to get in with that Monty through the bathroom like we were talking about, but did hit one goo mine on the way in, so they have an idea that they're in there now, but not able to do a whole lot about it. Fabian finding footprints. There we go. There's that buffer, that extra range there, and that means enemy now going to be in a tougher position. He's going to have to rotate around a little bit more, which means it could potentially catch him off guard. However, Fabian is all the way downstairs, so he's not going to do it from there.
Ella trying to contest up close on the stairs, and it'll fall back. Your enemy cannot really play too effectively against his opponents on the stairs being tracked. C4 is going to get thrown up. No, Fabian getting the kill at the perfect moment, saving potentially two teammates, and more importantly, Pengu on the Monty. Very important here for G2. This might just be the round where they start getting things up. Impact
there we go.
Up. Nope.
There's that floor trick that we see so often, placing the thermite charge on the floor to open up the bottom of it. You're going to probably see a lot of that on Villa in the future here till it's countered.
There's actually a few ways to make sure that doesn't actually happen at all, but Panics will get the kill on Fabian, finally taking down the Jackal. He's done quite a bit here. Oh my god, Revan finding the shot, just not even needing to peek against Goga, who was prone on the floor, expecting his opponent to pick it from there. But as is tradition, everything can be used from both angles. So attackers.
Oh no!
Oh no! Impact's gonna get thrown into the back, doing more damage to Goga. Now he's down on the floor with the diffuser down as well. Alive will peek in and get one more on Kanta Raketti, and all that's left is Pengu here. Oh, the claymore from Goga saves Pengu, extends his lifetimer just a bit as he pushes in. So Gishmoltet, and there's goo mines as well in front of him. He's gonna have to walk into his opponents, and unfortunately, it does not work. Mocket with 3 rounds here on the defense in a row, very much dismantling G2. This is it definitely goes to say this for a lot of people that haven't really seen Villa on professional play or haven't looked into some stuff from scrims, etc. It is extremely defender favored. So there you go. G2 with a timeout here.
Yeah, at this point they want to stop the bleeding. I don't blame them for
it's
taking
a technical timeout. It's not.
Oh, they didn't choose it. Well, like I said though, I wouldn't be surprised to want to stop the bleeding at this point after losing 3 rounds. Chances are probably someone's audio or something went out. That tends to be the most common problem that there is at these kind of events. Is just audio for whatever reason can get a little messed up.
All right.
We'll see though.
We'll see the admin behind him, helping him out, so making sure that everything is running well. In the meantime, in the market camp, they're pretty happy with their performance so far.
The smiling coach.
So you see Panics just, you know, I think he's a bit tired. It's a bit of an early start here in the day, even though they are in match 2, but still, they have had a lot of work to do, and Market definitely doing as much work as possible with their coach behind them. It's very important. The fact that your players can rest and having the coach doing a lot of the heavy work at night, it means that the players are always ready for their matchups. And you know what? Right now, Market are very much looking like they're, you know, as ready as it can be on the defensive side.
I mean, like I said, we'll see when the sides switch, but so far, I mean, the most that G2 can squeeze out of these attacks now is 2 points versus 3. So not like
already. Actually, 2 rounds on the attack on Villa is not too
No, that's not bad. But at the same time, that's still yet to even be seen because their attacks have just not been super coordinated. We'll see how they change it up as we're going to get back into it on Aviator. Now, of course, they're going to have to start repeating bomb sites for the most part. So we will see at least they have some idea on how to attack these. Units going on Glass again, though, has not been working out, as you mentioned earlier, and we saw it fail again last round. So it seems like that has been one of the weaker parts of these attacks.
Defenders,
So
protect
we'll
your bombs
see
from
how
being
this is
defused
set
by
up by
attackers.
Mocket, and they will go for Aviator again. So they're going to run the exact same lineup as before. So for G2, they have to worry about players coming in from below, flanking all the time. Mocket making sure that G2 were always on their toes, and so far, let's just say that G2 haven't really shown that they're ballerinas.
Yeah, let's hope that that short timeout they had there helped them get in the right mentality.
It'll be pretty funny seeing Fabian as a ballerina.
10
Be
seconds
interesting.
remaining.
That's usually how I see him. Just in my mind.
Very graceful.
5 seconds
Yeah.
to go.
Definitely. We'll see though. This round they are going with similar attacker lineups for the most part that they've been doing, but some slight variations here. I mean, I like what Fabian's trying to do with the Jackal. I like the approach from below, trying to come up a little more safe. Because ooh, there we go. Someone going for an aggressive peek. Gonna work.
Oh, enemy gets the first one on Fabian. He's just not expecting someone to run out from the main doorway.
Not a good start. After this is looking like we could see a fourth round here for Mocket.
This is a huge, huge start because of how strong these roamers have been for Mocket.
Yeah.
It seems like G2's map pick is really starting to backfire.
Yeah.
Here.
In this case, enemy was the one getting tracked last time. So getting the kill on the Fabian early, gonna put him in a much better position for the rest of this. Assuming he can stay alive for a while and burn some time. They are going for more of a study approach, something you talked about earlier. Used to be the more of the common way to approach it. They're actually going with that. Gonna spot at least one of those cameras now, Voice. But in the meantime, they did see the Glaz approaching, so gonna be called out.
Walls reinforced on the side, so G2 can definitely use that to their advantage. Interesting thing is that G2 are only bringing one hard breacher, so with how prevalent the impact tricks have been here. Panic's not picking against it here in the hallway, but there's a very common position to see the Jaeger playing in either one side or the other. There's nobody coming in from the back from G2, as of course they are down in manpower. Can't really afford to send anybody to the other side of the map, as all the players are set up here trying to contest potentially the hallway.
Eunice definitely putting a scare into Panix, but I worry that if Panix peaks, Panix will probably win the gunfight based off of what we've seen so far on this map from Eunice. And perfect timing by Pengu. I imagine some great comms and callouts there. There goes Panix, and now Eunice will have an easier time pushing down here as they start to get the wall open.
Yeah, this is the thermite position where you can't really do much against it. There's nothing set up for this, as they'll open up the side, and this is really the best way to contest against your opponents. Oh no,
The timing.
The smoke is not set up correctly, and Revon will find the angle. Jonas, unfortunately, not able to put the smoke down correctly. Will be up to Kanto and the squad to just run into the site and go for a frag fest. Pengu being blown to smithereens by Void, as the diffuser will be set. Advantage is for Mocket, and oh boy, that's Kanto Raketti with one more. It's a 2v1. Mocket looking for the fourth round on the board. It's up to Kanto. He wins these, as they
Not
say.
this time.
Revan just playing around the bar. He'll get the kill. Kanto Raketti down on the floor. And Mocket 4-0 against G2 on G2's map pick Villa.
I gotta say, Revan's having a hell of a day.
Oh yes.
That was I don't think that that bar was as penetrable as he was hoping. Unfortunate. Well, they're gonna try Dining Kitchen again, as this is their secondary. So far, this is looking like a pretty strong sweep, though. I gotta say, I did not expect this. These attacker lineups just not really working out for G2. Like, I mean, I don't want to blame Eunice, but his glass play has been subpar at least. So Fabian taking over the role here, probably the right choice. Gonna instead put Eunice on the blitz if he sticks on that blitz. But either way, I feel like this switch up is probably the smart way to go about it, just because I don't know what it is. Eunice is just not. He has off days on glass. He's a very, very good glass, but he has days where it just seems like, you know, maybe he needs a few more energy drinks or something to really kind of get on lock in terms of his timing. He was pushing in very wide angles, so you see him kind of taking very wide peaks into situations where, like you said, the smoke coverage isn't quite correct, or he's just, I don't know, he's just overly aggressively moving in situations where the defenders have the angles and the advantage, and it's just not working out time and time again. But we'll see the switch, and maybe Fabian can do it a little bit better. Eunice gonna bring that first blitz for them. See how it goes here in terms of the last attack round for G2. And then we'll see if they have some big surprises on their defense to really make things work. Pretty much the same defender lineups for the most part here for Mocket, because it's been working, I'd say, fairly effectively.
10 seconds to go.
Especially enemy playing that very flexible roam.
Yeah,
5 seconds
honestly,
left before insertion.
G2 are always fearing the Ela coming in from behind them.
Attackers
They're
recovered the bomb diffuser.
never able to
Attackers'
sleep
objective
well
is
and
to locate
correctly.
a bomb and defuse
Even when they were playing on here, it seems like when they were attacking Kitchen, it's just Fabian was always afraid of somebody coming in from the side. Even though he had Jackal tracking, he had everything to his advantage. Still was not enough to deal with that Ela.
Well, now he's not going to be Jackal tracking this time because he took over that glass roll. So hopefully they don't need that because they have phone calls. They have the ability to do at least some
bomb
gadget
located by
scanning.
attackers.
So that might help out. No pulse to track this time. They are going for more of a horizontal attack rather than a straight vertical take from above, which is surprising. But hey, I guess that's one way to use the blitz. They are still going to have Pengu potentially take the top floor. He is droning it along with Goga. So they're going to at least make sure that there's no one up there. See if they can actually turn that into an attack here, though, as they get a little stalled out.
All right, Pengu just drawing in. Well, actually, there we go. You got Fabian, the drone on the top floor. So last time they came in, though, they got shot from below because they're already pre-open holes that are set up by Mocket. And just to make sure that they can get kills off their opponents. And there you go. Panics will get the first one. Doesn't even need holes. He goes in for the 1v1 against Kanto. A lot of damage done to the Jaeger, but we can see here a reset for Panics. Fabian moving in as the smoke finally pops, and he's just in dining. Now damage will be done to him, and that scream is going to be heard by Mocket as he gets only 1 kill on Void. Was it really worth it? I am not sure.
Still better than Eunice was doing half the time.
Oh, Jonas, speaking of which, he goes down, unfortunately, to enemy running around on the Ela, finding the headshot, and this is looking like a 5-0 for Mocket against G2.
Oh, no.
Pretty insane, to say the least. The Thermite will get set. Pengu trying to hear
Attackers have dropped the bomb.
from it. He turns around, unfortunately, at the wrong time. It's the Ela that comes in and cleans it up. Mocket 1 round away from taking this whole thing here 6-0.
A big surprise here. I mean, obviously they lost the first map, so they can't take it out here in terms of taking home the win from this map alone, but the idea that you're going to have to see 5 rounds in a row from G2 here actually is a bit of a stretch.
To tie and then
win two.
potentially take it.
Yeah, not looking good for G2. This is definitely looking like we're going to see Bank after all. This is not the G2 I would normally expect, especially after we saw how strong their attacks were on Oregon. Just seems like maybe they weren't as prepared for this map as they thought they were. Could be the case where maybe it was really, I guess, Mocket baiting them into taking Villa, potentially. We'll see, though. Now that the switch has happened, we could see a reverse 5-0. Obviously, we saw 5 rounds in a row from Mocket, so we know it's possible here. We're going to see some 6-picks. Eunice is going to switch over to Pulse and Revan to Twitch.
All right. A bit of an uphill battle here for G2. They're starting off on Trophy. And,
wow, Revan. Yeah.
It's pretty insane, to say the least. He's got more kills than all of G2 combined.
That's not a surprise considering how he's been playing. Enemy, though, has been doing good. Well, I'd say those two alone have been doing very, very well. Even on Oregon, they were two of the top players for sure. So it's been a good day for them. Maybe G2 needs to figure out how to shut those two down in particular faster.
10 seconds left.
See how Goga plays it out, though, on the Echo, so... Have they played all the way now? Usually what the Echo will do... Oh, no, he's playing the Supernova. Okay. This... You know, I know why he's doing this. So, remember when I was saying that Thermite...
Yep, that's exactly what it is. That's why he's got the yokai right there as well to be able to watch that.
He doesn't even need to care about it, actually. You know why? Because if you blow out the floor and it's only exposed, like, the skeleton of the villain, you can't actually put your Thermite charge on it. So there is literally no way to open it if there's just one impact available in the back. So that pretty much negates everything that Mocket would have had in mind to come in, but they are bringing Hibana. So they don't have to worry about a Thermite charge in here. There's not enough impacts to really play against that. However, G2 will be playing potentially from below, as Eunice just scanning around, making sure that he's in a safe and comfortable position here to take his phone out and just turn it off alive. And
Yeah, Alive is going to have to play a different role now because he got his operator banned, so he's going to have to be on Dokkaebi instead. Something I think he plays fairly well as well, so not a huge loss.
yeah, it doesn't really matter too much for him. But Revan will open things up here. Kanta Raketti going down. As not really expecting the Twitch to come in from the Stellar. And there you go. It does indeed happen. Mocket one step closer away from a 6-0 on map 2 to take it into her third one on bank.
Definitely looking like it so far. At least Eunice getting some heartbeats here, getting some idea where they might be playing from, but they're not doing a whole lot about it. At least a minute and a half been burned out.
All right, enemy jumping back down here, taking no damage.
Attackers drop.
Might just be going up to that astronomy window. It's oh so strong, possibly pushing Jonas away. As Jonas will get the spot. He's trying to contest the Sophia here, but Panics is ready in the back just in case. Unfortunately, there is an ADS to burn the frag grenade away. Enemy finally chucking in the usual to open things up. They know it's going to be in the back. He's chucking in the C4, waiting for the perfect moment. As he hasn't heard anybody moving, and there you go. It will hit. No, not really doing much. Entirety of the mag here, the UMP being expended to get one kill off of it, but it's already enemy getting one, Alive getting the second, and that's Panics getting one more. Pengu on his own now. He gets two, can't get the third. Unfortunately, Mocket absolutely wiping the floor with G2, not losing a don't leave him hanging. There we go. Absolutely wiping the floor with G2 in that map. So 5-0 on the defending side, and then one round is all that Mocket required when they were on the attack. Absolutely impressive plays, and Wenshin Revan 12 kills. Enemy with 8, Void with 2, Alive and Panics with 3 each. Otherwise, it's 12 kills in total for G2. Jonas getting nothing.
Yeah, unfortunately, no consolation prize for him. We still have one more map to go, but nonetheless, that's going to put a little bit of tilt, I imagine, on Spenta. They will get a break, of course, to be able to think about that, and maybe have the coach Shaz step in and be like, guys, stop losing. Just, can you do me a favor and
like,
get one round to start off with?
Can you be my life coach? Because
Yeah.
this seems like a great way.
Good philosophy. Stop losing.
Stop losing.
Done.
Stop moving.
That's it.
Stop losing. There you go. All right. Well, before we head into map number 3, Bank, it's tied. G2 versus Mocket. Let's take a quick break. 5 minutes. We'll be right back.
Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo.
back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2. So far, you've had Vitality beating Team Liquid, Norangu beating Obey Alliance, and now NIP are up 1-0 against Fnatic. We'll correct ourselves from what we were saying previously. And now G2 getting smashed, destroyed, absolutely annihilated. Brutal, savage, direct type of play here.
Only on one of the maps.
Yeah, 6-0 for Market here against G2 on Villa, which now leads us to map number 3. It was a 6-3 on Oregon for G2. Now you get to see how things work on Bank.
Which is another map I believe G2 did not play so far during the season, just like Villa. But in this case, of course, it's a map they're going to know. It's not like a Villa where it's a bit more of a question mark. In this case, the question mark turned into an exclamation mark for Market.
It's an Intero Bank.
Yeah. We'll see what ops they go to ban here on Bank. As we saw Bank earlier with the Vitality with a very, very convincing Bank. We'll see, of course, Lion get banned again here. We're not going to see any Lion today so far.
Good.
For sure.
Good. Both teams really don't like playing with or against him, so it doesn't really make too much sense to let him pass through the ban phase. What will G2 remove? And I'm looking at a Doka be banned potentially.
Yeah.
Worth one hard breach. No, it's
Interesting
what?
choice.
I mean, Alive plays a lot of Twitch as well.
Still,
Actually,
probably won't be though. Well, definitely won't be now. I mean, can't. But
very good point, Devin.
thought long and hard about that one.
Oh yes.
We'll see what the second
Mira.
ban is though. Yep, not a surprise there.
It's like it's the easiest part of my job. Who gets banned first on defense? Mira. Okay.
Okay, it's the second one that's a question mark. Maestro, Echo, Valkyrie.
Yeah, and Valkyrie on Bank is obviously a very strong operator.
I feel like Echo more likely to be banned though.
Mm-hmm. Would make quite a bit of sense. It really depends on what sort of strategies Market are looking to play and really what they're expecting G2 to pull out here.
We'll see as it comes down to the last seconds here, and it will be Echo.
Not surprising at all.
Nope. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you now that they buff operators in some of the mid-season reinforcements and the DLCs, that just ends up leading to, if they're too strong, they just get banned. But you only have so many bans, so I guess if they buff enough of them, there'll be a few, question marks in there.
Very good point. Very good point. I definitely do agree. Can't ban everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, well, I mean, it sucks because you get buffed and then you get banned. But you can only ban so many people, so. We'll see. Lockers is a start. Not a huge surprise there, as it is the better start spot for the most part. Enemy going to be playing what he'd been playing oh so well on Villa. No 6 picks, it looks like, coming out from G2.
Yeah, only the Ella here being changed. Now, okay.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
We're going
the bomb.
down to CCTV. Not surprising at all. But usually it's Panix who's playing the Ella here. I always talk about it. It's Bank. What he's usually going to be doing is setting up with a shield in front of him, have some ADSs to help as well, holding off on those server stairs. So here, won't be the case, at least when it comes to the player himself. Enemy can definitely pull that off. That is
Well, and Panex, of course, can help set up those ADSs.
indeed.
Well, we'll
Usually
see,
the reverse.
What's that?
Usually the reverse, but
Yeah.
you know,
10 seconds
speaking
left
of
before insertion.
reversing positions, here's Fabian on the glass again.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say he was like hugely impactful, but he got one more kill than we ever saw Eunice getting
Attackers have recovered their
on the map,
diffuser.
so it
Attackers
wasn't
are
a terrible
moving out to
idea.
locate a bomb and
We will see Eunice this time on a different role on Zofia instead. See if that works out. He did try Blitz that round, and that last time it did not work out. I like he's trying to hide that camera behind the light there to an extent. That should help. Got to make sure you take out those default cams, of course. And go on top of that. And open up some windows to get this attack ready so they can take that top floor control as soon as possible.
Yeah, there you go. Default cameras getting shot down by G2. So, see, Alive has set up that Valkyrie camera in a correct way, I guess. You really just want to see at least head level of the operator passing by. You don't really need to see the entire op.
Yeah, definitely not. We'll see, though, if that comes into play. They do have the ability to spot it from Kanto, though. Although it's a risky spot to spot it. And then as I say that, of course, he is not going to be alive any longer to do anything about it. So definitely not going to spot it with that scanner now. Eunice, unfortunately, not able to find a trade off of that.
Unfortunately, he's just set upstairs in the skylight stairwell. Has not really found anybody just yet. Revon sitting back, chilling. Has got ADS to help him. Panics in here. Though, Ella or not, he's always going to play on the stairs.
Well, almost catching enemy there. Just, oh, there we go, the peek, and then nice tap. There's Eunice making up for his Villa plays. Almost shoots him in the head, but there we go. 2. All right, well, now I don't feel as bad about him playing, switching the role with Fabian now.
But this is huge. Goga going down means that there's no more Thermite, but also that they have to rely on Pengu. And this screams, let's just go for gold.
I wouldn't mind relying on Pengu.
There's really no other way to get this done because, you know, you lose the Thermite, you're kind of limited in terms of options. There's a minute left. You don't have a ton of time to contest anybody in the servers. You're equal in manpower, but still, the defense, if you're equal in manpower, the defense still has an advantage.
A smoke and 2 C4s, though. I would say that's an advantage.
Exactly. So now Pengu will have to come in. There's nobody in the garage as he has droned himself in.
There is now.
There is now. Alive peeking in, unfortunately, is Pengu to get the kill. The Valkyrie camera will get shot down as Valkyrie herself will try to run away. And Voy will use this to his advantage. Unfortunately, can't get the shot onto Pengu. Only a bit of damage done to him. Will be still 1x Kairos thrown into the wall. Open up an angle for Pengu here to play against anybody playing in B. There's Voy in though, and Pengu will get the shot onto Revon. 559 or not. Now it's a 3v1. Jonas and the squad will have to run into Voy. There you go. Pengu will get the last one all on Pengu there.
Yeah, what were you saying about relying on Pengu?
So, pretty good.
Not a terrible idea. So,
Pretty good.
Nicely done. I mean, he got all 3 of those remaining kills.
Yeah.
So, single-handedly drones himself in, kills one, kills another, finishes things off. Nicely done, Pengu.
Yeah.
So, I mean, overall, though, not a bad round.
That round with this start should have gone the way of Mockin, but G2 being able to refrag very quickly upstairs meant that they didn't have to worry about their opponents being able to rotate too fast against them.
Yeah.
And there you go. Having at least the Habana alive, there's no mute jammers, there's no bandit batteries. I mean, usually if it would have stopped them there, it would have been mute jammers and not bandit batteries. There you go. Kind of plays pretty well into G2's hands, recovering the round after being 2 men down. But they will go back to, they'll go to Teller's archives, and Voy will play Maestro in this round. We'll have the castle as well, so pretty big staple for the site.
Interesting 6, spec 2 to go from Doc to Maestro. So either way, they know there's a ACOG, a big fatty there to fight it.
Attackers need to locate and
nonetheless,
defuse bombs.
We'll see if that pays off. As that can be very useful if you could tuck it away, for example, behind the tellers when they're trying to, let's say, use some X-Kairos or something to open up the wall instead of a Thermite. But in this case, they have both hard breachers, so may not be able to pull off any kind of evil eye trickery to stop those, but you never know. Depends on how well they drone it and pay attention. Yeah. Eunice, though, like I said, definitely made up for last map, although it would have been nice to see that earlier.
And unfortunately, just the team play was not working well for G2 on Villa, though.
No.
Here on Bank, it definitely has worked out fine, at least in trying to recover things.
I could see them playing Villa again later in this tournament. As I imagine Shaz's perspective is to go through that and look at everything that didn't work and improve upon it. Look for ways to make it work, look at what was not working, and feel confident going into it the second time.
Now, to be confident in that run, you really have to top your group. It'll give you a big advantage having pretty much a day and a half to prepare before going to the quarterfinals. So that's the macro build, basically.
Yeah.
Your preparation for the whole tournament, not just for a play day. And that's why teams will have coaches, because they help them that. But aside, Panix is playing upstairs by CEO. See all of G2 really trying to test against them. Pengu taking a lot of damage actually from the back, but Panix will finally go down, and there's the second kill. Jonas finding the headshot on Alive as he moves into open area, and now they'll have free reign over the site.
Ooh, does down one in the admin office as well. Eunice, like I said, definitely playing much, much better on this operator role.
Is that an Iron Sight MPX?
That would be interesting.
And a red dot on a Alda? Can we pause this game for a second?
Just look at the Iron Sight. Well, Revan's been playing very well, so I don't question his decisions right now.
I will.
All right.
Bomb has been located.
We'll see. We'll see how he plays this in terms of being able to hold that. Teller's there, but Pengu is low on health, so he could potentially take advantage of that. However, that is a long angle to be fighting with an iron sight, as you mentioned. He's going to play smartly. And does. So there you go. Don't question it. Kanto, unfortunately, going down. That is a little bit less utility in terms of scanning, but nonetheless, man advantage clearly over to G2 in a 4-2 situation. So G2 looking to make up for their loss on Villa for sure.
Goga moving in from the side here on the Thermite. He sprays through the wall and doesn't get any damage done.
That was close though.
No. Revon is still in the teller's office. And there you go. Voy, even with the red dot, getting the kill on Pengu. This is not so great for G2 with how big of an opener they have had early on. But there you go. Kill from the side is Jonas. We'll get one more on the board, but it's Revon that drops it, and that's the diffuser. It's a huge pick now with 50 seconds left on the clock. It's a lot of time to play with, and Revon with one more. So this is your secret here. He'll get the last one, though. Jonas will save the round, and G2 sweating bullets here.
I love how we get Eunice going from 0 last map to a 2K and then a 4K.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good player.
He was playing the wrong operator. They finally switched that. They fixed it. Maybe they'll play Villa again. Just switched around because it has been much, much better for him.
Yeah, they forced the glass a bit too much, unfortunately, and that's some teams do the same when it comes to shield operators. Like, oh, we're just gonna play blitz every single round. Every single round, it doesn't work.
Well, for a Sexy Gig, it did most of the time.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah.
So he's just good at it. So
True dat. True dat.
Typical Brazilian style. We'll see. They're going to go back down to lockers again. Now, last time they had a little bit of trouble on the attack on lockers and barely pulled it off thanks to Pengu with that 3K kind of sweep at the end. So they're going to have to be a little more careful with their breachers this time in terms of making sure that they're, if Goga's going to get picked, he needs to get the wall downstairs open first. Because Fabian on that glass means, of course, they would play for what we typically see a glass play, like we saw Zephyr doing when they open up the one wall by the server stack and use that as an angle towards the red hallway wall. But in this case, they may or may not be able to play it that way depending on what they lose. Last time, though, they just opened the hatches and went for a garage push, which seems to be the way to do it now. You just open the hatches and then push garage. Didn't work for the previous team when we saw them done, but we'll see this matchup. Same lineup, though, coming out from G2, and I guess pretty much the same thing coming out from Rocket as well. The only difference now is we have Alive on the Valkyrie, and probably not with the MX Iron Sights, because we definitely saw that working out really well for Revon.
10 seconds to go.
Right. Enemy will reinforce the Skylight Hatch. Nothing really out of the ordinary. I wonder if Rocket will just play the same way. Oh, is he going to go for a peek? No, just spraying in. Nobody really spawning in by the sewers, and enemy will fall back. Now here, Panix is back on his standard operator for this defense downstairs. He's going to play by the server stairs with the Ela. He's been very effective at it in the past. Got concussion mines, schmutz everywhere can be thrown. You can use those to your advantage as well. Zofia is going to be really your biggest enemy in that position, especially with the way Jonas has been playing. And here they spot it out and make sure, okay, there was a guy that peeked out early on. I don't know where he's at, but I'm just going to hold on and wait until my teammates give me information. ADS will be reset, put in another position here to help out the Ela, contesting the close angle. And that's why they have that shield.
Putting it at a different angle that's maybe a little bit less exposed to anyone peeking down those stairs. Seems like a smart adjustment. Like I said, this is something they do pretty often, so they should have it pretty down by now. And Eunice, as you said, is going to be the biggest counter. He is the one approaching right now while they spend the rest of the time opening up hatches, taking advantage of the map control. We're not really seeing anyone try and roam on this bomb site this time. They're just going to stick entirely downstairs, kind of turtle it up, and hope that Panix can hold that server stairs for as long as possible. But they're also considering garage. You see Fabian droning it out. Could go for a push on it. They do spot Alive down here at the bottom of the stairs. Fabian deciding what to do with that information. He is calling it out for Pengu, watching it live. Pengu could take advantage of it here. Fortunately, the pillar saving his life, but Alive gets away with his as well.
Yeah, Jonas still hold up top, holding the angle for quite a bit as this is draining a lot of time now. You won't really see a lot of that, a lot of the drone hole here being used up, but it is very effective at giving information for the attackers. Now, Pengu realizing again that, one of the best ways to really go for the attack is to come in from the garage, and there you go. Cantor Rocchetti will get the first kill here, taking down enemy. Fabian will move in by the smoke. Cantor Rocchetti trying to find the angle as he spots one in the back. You have information as Fabian is flashed, but he gets the kill on alive regardless. It's now 5v3. Gas canister being thrown into the red hallway just to be sure. But is anyone watching the rotation for Vault? Yes, there is. It's Cantor Rocchetti. Does he expect the second one? He should be here as Panix comes in, but the win out with the Ella, he'll get none. Fabian and Pengu will get the last two as the attackers of G2 finally getting back into standard form.
Now, where was this attack from G2 on Villa? This has been so much more effective.
All right, well, we'll go into round 4 here to see how things work out for G2. And, of course, Mocket still unable to find the round on the defense.
Well, we'll see, though. They are going to be able to make some adjustments, I imagine, as they have flexibility of bomb site. Because they've lost every time on their defense, that means they can choose wherever they want. So if they decide to go for a different one, at least they're going to go for a tactical pause here from Mocket. So they're going to take some time, kind of like you recollect themselves, because this is not what they were hoping for, I imagine. This is a map that they are fairly good at, as you mentioned before. So they should be doing better on it, but they seem to get a bit dismantled. You can see them on the screen looking a little dismayed, trying to figure out what are we doing wrong? Why is this not working like it was in our previous matches? But then again, they have been taken apart on it by Vitality in the past, so they definitely have weaknesses on it, and that's what G2 have been exploiting. Although we'll see, once G2 gets on defense as well, they might have a heck of a time on that defense also. Same attacker lineup, though, coming from G2 because it's definitely working. Void going to be bringing that Maestro, trying that out again here for Tellers. See if that'll work this time. So they definitely don't seem to want to go to CEO or open area. Does surprise me, though, that they don't have the CEO as one they can kind of pull out to try and do something different with, as neither of these two bomb sites really been working all that great for them, although some of the rounds have been close, just not enough of them.
All right. G2 finally back here. Of course, Mocket was calling for their tactical timeout. And remind you again, every single map, each team has the opportunity to use one minute tactical timeout, in which they can talk to their coach, reevaluate their position, and of course get ready for the upcoming rounds. And very smart from Mocket to do it right before starting round 4. They need these 2 rounds here on the defense, because especially the sites that they've been playing are mostly downstairs. The basement is the site that usually the defenders have pretty good time on, and G2 has just been plowing them aside every time.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, we'll see if they can continue that, though. I imagine that tactical timeout there, hopefully to bring out some counter trades, because the coach has been sitting there watching from the perspective of more than just one player. Each individual player is mostly seeing their own screen, except for when they die and they can take spectating on the other players. The coach has the overall perspective to really see what they need to change more so, and I think that was a good call on the tactical time.
Yeah, and to update you guys in the meantime, though, NIP took their game versus Fnatic. It was a 6-3 victory for NIP on Clubhouse, and then 6-1 on Coastline for our Brazilian lineup. So Fnatic falling to NIP, in my mind, a team that is very good at LAN events, that is for sure. And 8-2-0, though. That is, of course, on the B stream and Rainbow Six, twitch.tv/Rainbow6 Bravo. But going back to this G2 versus Mocket, as Fabian is just running that glass down, making sure the barrel is nice and warm.
Yeah, a lot of angles to be opened up here. Fortunately, not leading to anything. Always risky to be running a glass outside that long, though, at that long of an angle, just because rotating around from that position to try and help out your team later on in the round does take quite a while. So I think him changing positions early after not getting anything out of it, probably the smart decision. They have taken control from stock here. They're starting to take control towards, well, pretty much all of CEO to turn this into a nice vertical battle here. They haven't lost anyone just yet. They don't have a sledge or a buck, but they have plenty of other utility to open up the floor here. With double hard breachers as well, they could even thermite the floor if they wanted to, just to open up some more angles.
It very much is possible.
They might even have breach charges on Kanto as well, but Gogo with the first kill onto Revan. A nice initial kill there from the thermite. That is an important kill because we saw how good Revan was last time on this defense.
Yeah, and of course the Valkyrie can relay information pretty well. Now, Maestro taking a lot of damage. Voice somehow still alive at the end of this as Penguin just spraying in, looking for maybe a lucky finisher. But Cantor Rocchetti opening up the side. I wonder if it's going to be can't chuck really anything because, of course, it's the IQ now. Doesn't have much. But enemy peeks in, and he gets down here on Goga. So Goga was trying to go for that defusal plant. Void finishing him off as they had set up an Evil Eye in the back. I wonder where that is. But Kenta Ricchetti finding the angle on enemy upstairs. 4v3 now as Fabian gets the finisher on Void. Only one shot away. Panic's being tagged here. But G2 really have to watch out for the flanks from Mach. They've been devastating in past, but Diffuser will get set. Alive rotating in here. He's in Skylight, and Jonas is ready for him instantly. Fabian will trade off, get the last kill. G2 with 4 rounds. They're looking to return the 6-0 favor.
Looking very, very similar to what we saw at Villa so far from Mocket's side, but I can't imagine it's going to go the same way, but it's certainly a possibility.
I have a very vivid imagination.
Well, yeah, it's true. I can't imagine that. I'm just trying not to and hoping that it's going to be a little bit different. But Mocket, when you're going to go for a third bomb site, or in this case, CEO might be a better choice than open area. This seems, again, like an Oregon-style risk where they on their last defense went tower and lost it. They're doing something similar here, going to open area. Yeah, you want to throw off G2, but I think CEO would be more the way to do it at this point. Unfortunately, just all your bomb sites, the better one's not working out, doesn't mean you should go to the worst one. You know, though, they could have an interesting defense, but I'm not seeing anything in terms of operators that really makes me think, wow, they've got something here. It's going to make it dramatically different. I'm basically going with the castle, not doing anything on that part in terms of leaving that open, but they have more than enough utility to take advantage of castle. They have the ability to soft breach it, but they also have the ability for Fabian to punch little holes in the castle barricades and use those to look for those yellow highlights.
Exactly. And those holes are not just, oh, hey, it's like you're butting the castle barricade. No. They're literally holes that you can see through. So even though there's castle barricade, the glass can definitely be a big part of taking them out. It takes 11 shots to take it out, so full mag will be more than enough to deal with it, but also before you take it out, you kind of want to use those holes, bullet holes, to your advantage. You see the rotation hole being set up in the archives, so big part of holding on to open areas, making sure that you have some control over tellers, archives, and the open area office as well. So as long as you still rotate from archives into the office, will be kind of fine actually, but G2 are definitely going to make this a lot more complicated as priority number 1, take control of the top floor, take control of the hatches, and then from then try to push in to the site.
I like that coordination there. Pengu, instead of droning in for himself on that window, has a teammate throw in a drone so that he can be ready to execute on the information. It does get the ping on the player hiding just around that corner, but he doesn't peek it. There we go. Fortunately, the timing not there, but he backs off smartly. And will live to continue to pressure that.
Yeah, they want to make as much pressure as possible, though. As I assume that Fabian is playing all the way from the garage. Enemy will have to drop it down. Pengu now will switch over to the drone play.
Fast top floor control.
Yeah, it's all clear, so Pengu can come in. Kenta Ricchetti has come into the executive lounge, and there's nobody here really to contest against him. Just making sure that he has the spot on any goo mines that are set up, any cameras, any utility that Market have available.
Well, a minute to take top floor control without taking a single bit of damage is actually working really well. And as I say that, Revan at least trades 1 back onto Kanto, as he was obviously spending too much time trying to shoot through the floor. Unfortunately punished. He
gets blown up through the floor, unfortunately. That's now the IQ eliminated. G2 on the backhand. But with 4 rounds up on the board, that's definitely not as big of a blow as one may think. Though they know that there's a player coming in from below, and there we go. They get the spot. Pengu will relay the information to his teammates. Now try to look for a pick off of the site. You need to refrag here. It's always very important to get the refrag ASAP. It's been taking quite a while, and is there really anybody on the site to contest them? There's players downstairs that have dropped into to the basement, but nothing really out of the ordinary. Pengu gets the kill on a Void and have to open up the barricade. Other than that, there's not much that they have to really deal with. But enemy getting the kill on Fabian. Now it's up to Jonas to contest in here. He'll get one, turning around instantly and make sure nobody peeks in from the stairs. Does have a line of sight as Goga will take down the Valkyrie camera that was used by those defenders. peek against him. Alive getting one on a Pengu. Goga to peek in though to get one. Goga and Jonas to chime in. One each. Now they are all up against enemy. And do they know where he's at? You might want to drop and play from behind them. There's 15 seconds on the clock though left, and Jonas from the side will get the kill. 5-0. Now the reverse from G2. Can they make it 6-0? So it's a 6-3, 6-0, 6-0.
Yeah, and it's
6-6-6.
This is one of those points where it's just like G2 just never seem to get tilted in the sense of losing
No,
map.
they don't care.
It's just like whatever. We
We'll
won the first
6-0
round.
you next round.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just turn that around and show you how it's done. That was but I credit to Mocket. Their Hail Mary almost worked. They did almost get that round. Unfortunately, the manpower was just not in their advantage at the end there, and they just couldn't close it out. CEO actually getting the one site that Mocket not wanting to play is going to be the opening site here for G2. All they've got to do is win one round now, and it's very likely to happen that we see G2 move forward, but I'm not counting Mocket out just yet. They had, getting a 6-0 against G2 does show that they have some possibility of turning this around, but it's a long shot.
Who knows? Maybe G2 were not showing all that they have for Villa, but it's definitely a very defender favorite site. So
well, I think they showed that that they were able to finally switch operators when one of their players was struggling on Glaz in this case.
Yes.
And it switched. They made the change. It's working.
Yep.
It's been great.
Yep. Now we've been getting a lot of tweets and posts. We've been checking those out as people are watching both streams at the same time, which is great. I highly recommend that you're either running each stream on a different monitor or using a multi-Twitch to put Twitch TV Rainbow Six and Rainbow Six Bravo up on the same screen. There's quite a bit of action going on between our two matches here. Of course, NIP, I'll remind you again, taking the victory against Fnatic in a 2-0 in their
That's a bit of a surprise. But as you said, they are a bit of a LAN team. They've been struggling most of the time during the season, but yeah, when they get to LAN.
Oh, what can I say? I love being right. All right, that is
ticked a few times you did.
Hey.
No, I'm just kidding. Castle being used for just the 3 windows is a strange strategy in the sense that he gets a lot more use out of those doors for the most part. Definitely not a choice. Now that they let Alive, of course, play his operator, he's going to do exactly that.
I think Kanto's just going to try to peek against anybody that comes in for the main doorway. He's just watching which camera is he watching. Yeah, he's got a bulletproof camera facing the outside.
Bulletproof camera, nice.
So he does have a player to help him out in the hallway as well. He can just play the hallway on his own, not really worrying about much. But USB being brought in by enemy, which kind of surprising here. But those explosives being thrown up. I think Jonas used up his only C4. There we go. It did.
Well, that is not a huge deal, but definitely not going to help here. But they only have to win one round, even if they have to lose this one. They get some idea how the attack's being played out.
It's not about winning the round. It's about sending a message, Devin.
That's right. That you don't 6-0 us without a retaliatory 6-0.
Exactly. But enemy still on the drone here, as still hasn't been able to find any footsteps. But you see, oh no, they peek at the same time, but Panic's still getting the kill on Goga.
Nice trade.
Now the smoke being lost out here for the Buck. Unfortunately, not quickly enough on the peek from Goga, and the grenade pretty much timed up perfectly here. Revan will get one. Kanto Ricchetti falling down as, unfortunately for Kanto, that peek does not work out well for him. Now, drones will get shot down by the Evil Eye that was set up by the Maestro. As I'll remind you, the only person that can control the Evil Eyes is Maestro himself. So if he dies, it ain't great.
Yeah, no, he'll definitely play it back. I think probably not too aggressive. So that definitely will help with that, because I imagine Eunice and Pengu will be able to frag around him to an extent, but they've got to fight 4 with 2 hard breachers left alive. So it's not going to be an easy fight. Unfortunately, the peek's not working out super great there for Eunice.
He'll get a lot of damage done onto Revan, but reminder that G2 are down a player. And unfortunately, Pengu was away, and he couldn't really go for the impact on Boy. His enemy will get the kill on a Fabian. It's a 2v4. Still Jonas rotating in from below. He does not have a C4 to chuck up. Boy, would he wish that he had one. Impact even being thrown into the back. Pengu trying desperately to hold on to the site as Alive gets one. As Pengu down on the floor. Jonas with 30 health left alive. have to run through the office hallway and the main stairway. They get information on him as alive, getting the last one. So a 6-1, or well, 6-1 potential, but a 6-0 at least will be thwarted.
But that means 6 attack rounds in a row. So no one has yet to win a defense, despite playing all the different bomb sites. So far, every bomb site's been played, not a single one.
I don't know why G2 didn't just play in the basement for a first round.
When they want to go CEO again, they say, like, you know what, we get what we did, what didn't work, so let's try it again. They have the spare rounds to work with in terms of the lead that they have, but they are not going to have that retaliatory 6-0, unfortunately. Just not going to happen. So, like you said, though, 6-1 definitely a possibility here.
All right. Kenta Ricchetti again in the dock. They got 2 ACOGs in between them. Of course, Doc and the Maestro.
Yep. Didn't work out last time for Doc. And actually, Fabian get a 6 pick. There we go. And then enemy sneaking in that Jackal again.
Okay, they realized anchoring didn't really help them out too much. So with the Valkyrie change, we probably won't be seeing Doc playing the same way as before, because he was relying on those, on the Evil Eyes from the Maestro to give him information. So it won't be the case this time around.
With the cameras, he can actually rotate. We had the bulletproof camera as well that he couldn't.
So we'll see where Fabian sets up those cameras later on. He's using up his resources, his 2 reinforcements in the front desk. Comes into the lobby, and where will he find the correct position? Just trying to knock out any drones that come in early on, just minimizing the amount of information that Market can gather.
And this is why, if you ever wonder why they leave drones outside, this is why.
Exactly.
It's case 2 where you can often pick them up and then you get 2 drones to work with, which is even nicer.
And Sumi's trying to throw the black eye onto the black part of the upper pillar. Oh,
can't pick that back up.
Nope.
No do-overs on that one.
We need a ladder operator. That's what we need.
We certainly do. If only we could have that, they could step up right now.
Literally. See what you did there, Mr. Enzo. But it's 10 kills up here on the board for enemy on the Jackal. Still running with the USP, no need for the ITA in this position. But, of course, they are bringing panics. We saw how aggressive the smoke from Goga was when it just peeked out and got the kill on the panics, though it did rely on having information from the Maestro Evil Eye. In this case, there's none of that.
Well, didn't end up being a big factor last time. They do have the top of the wall open, suggesting they want to impact nade and deny thermite. They do also have a Hibana, though, that could go for opening up the bottom potentially first.
Speaking of which, is Pengu running impact?
Boy, you looked right at that camera. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I hope.
Yes, he
there
is.
we go. Okay,
and is Goga running? Is he running Barbed Wire? Yes, he is. Okay, okay.
Well, he's going to be playing in a different part anyways.
Thank you, Marcio, by the way. Proszę bardzo. Dziękuję bardzo. There we go. Okay, so Panic setting up here with a frag grenade. They need to time things perfectly to make sure that they take down any player sitting up behind the wall. But unfortunately, it's not like you need to be right behind the wall to impact. And there you go. You can just stay back, and because that thermite charge only has 1 HP, the easiest way to do it is, there you go, Void putting it on the floor, and that's the way to do it. I don't think the impact would hit through there. You need to hit it by the floor, but it's 2 kills here for Mocket and a refrag. Fabian and Kenta Ricchetti getting a kill each. So they take down both Alive and Revan.
It's still match map point too, so they've got to do is finish this out. They've got to play carefully with these last 3 players.
And Kenta Ricchetti walking back onto the site. Pengu on the castle will move in and get himself as close as possible to his opponent's enemy. Oddly enough, is running the old Pentacharm on his Jackal.
Seeing a lot of support for that.
But trading is now in the control of Mocket, but they have to play against Goga. He's got a shotgun and an SMG-11. It's pretty much the best lineup you'd like to have when you're playing up close against your opponents. He also has the castle to support him. Enemy will get taken down by Kenta Ricchetti. Now peeking in through the hallway. You know where they're at. The shotgun will finish him off, and there we go. Goga and Kanto will clean the round up. Kenta Ricchetti with a 3K at the end. 6-1 is the scoreline for map number 3 on Bank as G2 survive after having lost their second map in a 6-0. You see Farrell